This changed the world. Not gold, not spices, not oil. A potato, an odd-looking vegetable buried underground in the mountains of South America. For thousands of years it was unknown to most of humanity. Then it crossed an ocean. And everything changed. The potato helped feed growing populations, supported communities during difficult times, traveled across continents, and eventually became one of the most important food crops on Earth. Today it's everywhere, in fast food restaurants, family kitchens, luxury dining rooms, street markets, school cafeterias, late-night diners, and somehow one vegetable became hundreds of different foods. Crispy, creamy, golden, comforting, addictive. Tonight we're following the journey of the potato, from mountain farms in the Andes to some of the most beloved dishes ever created. Potatoes were first domesticated in the Andes roughly 7,000 years ago. The environment was harsh, cold nights, thin air, rocky soil. Many crops struggled. Potatoes thrived. That resilience made them valuable. They stored well, produced large amounts of food, and could survive conditions that destroyed other crops. When Spanish explorers carried potatoes across the Atlantic in the 16th century, they unintentionally introduced one of history's most influential crops. At first, many Europeans were suspicious. The plant looked unfamiliar. It grew underground. Some people didn't trust it. Others simply didn't know what to do with it. Eventually that changed, and once it did, potatoes spread almost everywhere they could grow. Over time, different cultures transformed them into entirely different experiences. Some became symbols of comfort, others became symbols of celebration, and some became global obsessions. French fries. If potatoes have a global superstar, it's French fries, and fittingly, nobody completely agrees where they came from. Belgium claims them. France claims them. The debate has lasted for generations. What everyone agrees on is this: people love fries. The reason starts with texture. The outside becomes crisp. The inside stays soft. Your brain receives two completely different experiences in a single bite. And that combination is incredibly satisfying. Listen carefully to a fresh fry. That crack matters. Humans are surprisingly sensitive to sound when they eat. Crunch suggests freshness. Crunch suggests quality. Crunch suggests reward, which explains why soggy fries feel disappointing almost immediately. Exactly. Nobody wants that. Great fries are surprisingly technical. Many traditional fry makers cook them twice. The first fry gently cooks the inside. The second creates the golden shell. That second step transforms everything. And eventually fries became so popular that specific potato varieties were selected because they performed especially well in hot oil. Think about that. Entire agricultural systems adapting because humans preferred one texture over another. Fries aren't just a food anymore. They're a global language. Almost every country has adopted them, and almost every country believes it makes them better than everyone else. Mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes feel completely different. Fries create excitement. Mashed potatoes create comfort. This is food at its gentlest. No crunch, no sharp edges, no drama, just warmth. That's probably why mashed potatoes appear during some of life's most important moments. Family gatherings, holiday meals, celebrations, even difficult days. People rarely crave mashed potatoes because they're adventurous. They crave them because they're familiar. Because comfort food isn't really about taste alone. It's about memory. A spoonful of mashed potatoes can remind someone of childhood, a parent, a grandparent, a family dinner that happened 20 years ago. Food has that power. And mashed potatoes might be one of the best examples. Professional chefs discovered this too. Some became famous for creating incredibly rich versions loaded with butter. The result feels almost impossibly smooth, less like a side dish, more like edible comfort. Potato salad. Potato salad reveals something fascinating about food. The same ingredient can become completely different depending on where you are. In parts of Germany, potato salad is often served warm with vinegar-based dressing. In the United States, creamy mayonnaise-based versions became common. Japan developed softer variations with a slightly sweeter profile. Different cultures, different preferences, same potato. And for some reason, people become extremely passionate about potato salad. Every family has a recipe. Every family believes it's correct. Small changes can spark surprisingly serious debates. Too much mustard, not enough seasoning, wrong potato variety. Suddenly, everyone becomes an expert. And then there are the people who add raisins, a decision that continues to divide humanity. But potato salad became popular for practical reasons too. It's affordable, easy to share, easy to prepare for large groups, which helped it become a familiar communal dish at picnics, barbecues, celebrations, and family gatherings. Fried potatoes. Long before social media food videos existed, people already understood one simple truth. Potatoes become extraordinary when their edges turn golden. Fried potatoes are simple. Few ingredients, few steps, huge reward. That's why they appeared almost everywhere. Farm kitchens, worker meals, roadside diners, street food stalls. When potatoes brown, chemistry begins to reshape flavor. The Maillard reaction creates new aroma and flavor compounds that simply don't exist in raw potatoes. That's the smell filling the kitchen. That's the reason people suddenly appear when food is cooking. And potatoes absorb surrounding flavors remarkably well. Garlic, butter, onions, rosemary, paprika. They become whatever the pan gives them, which is probably why so many cultures independently created their own version of fried potatoes. Because eventually, every civilization discovers crispy edges. Potato gratin. If French fries are about crunch, potato gratin is about indulgence. Everything about this dish feels rich. Thin slices of potato layered carefully with cream, butter, garlic, and cheese, then baked until every layer melts into the next. The result isn't really a stack of potatoes anymore. It's a single unified thing, soft, golden, almost impossibly comforting. And visually, gratin might be one of the most beautiful potato dishes ever created. The bubbling cheese, the browned surface, the steam escaping through tiny cracks. It looks luxurious before you even taste it. But gratin also reveals something interesting about the potato itself. Throughout history, the same ingredient occupied completely different worlds. For some families, potatoes were a practical source of nutrition, affordable, reliable, essential. For others, potatoes became the foundation of elaborate dishes served at elegant tables. The ingredients stayed the same. The experience changed completely. And maybe that's part of what makes potatoes so remarkable. They belong everywhere, from simple kitchens to fine dining restaurants. Very few foods can move comfortably between survival and luxury. The potato somehow learned how. Potato soup. Some foods impress you. Potato soup takes care of you. That's a different thing. For centuries, potato soup appeared wherever people needed warmth, comfort, and efficiency. Simple ingredients, simple preparation, maximum return. Potatoes, water or stock, a few vegetables, maybe cream if available. Yet somehow the result feels larger than the ingredients themselves. Because soup changes the pace of life. Everything slows down, the steam rises, the spoon moves, the room becomes quieter. And that's probably why nearly every culture created some version of soup. Soup stretches ingredients, reduces waste, creates warmth, and during difficult winters, warmth matters a lot. Some foods aren't trying to impress anyone. They're simply trying to make life easier for a moment, and sometimes that's enough. Rusty proves a simple point. Texture can carry an entire dish. Traditionally associated with Switzerland, rosti began as practical food. Affordable, filling, reliable. But eventually people discovered something. The crispier the outside became, the better it felt. That sound when a knife breaks through the crust, that's part of the experience. Humans don't just eat with their mouths. They eat with their eyes, their ears, their expectations. Before flavor even arrives, your brain is already making decisions. And rosti understands that perfectly. Golden, crispy, simple. Few ingredients, maximum satisfaction. The entire dish is built around one goal, creating the perfect crust. And honestly, That's a goal worth respecting. Potato pancakes. Potato pancakes appear across dozens of cultures. Jewish latkes, German Kartoffelpuffer, Polish plaki, different names? Same basic idea. Take simple ingredients, transform them into something worth celebrating. And that's what food often does best. It takes ordinary things and turns them into occasions. Potato pancakes are built around contrast. Crispy exterior, soft center, golden edges, comforting warmth. The formula keeps appearing because it works, generation after generation. And many of these dishes became connected to holidays and family traditions. Not because potatoes were expensive, quite the opposite. Because potatoes were accessible, reliable, available to ordinary people. That reliability allowed traditions to survive. And sometimes that's how cultural memory works, not through monuments, not through museums, but through recipes. Why potatoes changed the world. What makes potatoes extraordinary isn't their flavor, it's their adaptability. Few ingredients have traveled such a remarkable journey, from mountain farms in South America to nearly every corner of the world, from survival food to comfort food, from farm kitchens to fine dining. The potato became whatever people needed it to become. And that's rare. Most foods occupy a single role. Potatoes occupy dozens. Maybe that's why they feel strangely personal. Almost everyone has a potato memory. Fries after school, a family holiday dinner, soup on a cold winter evening, a recipe passed down through generations. Potatoes quietly inserted themselves into human life. Not dramatically, not loudly, just consistently, for thousands of years. And when you think about it, that's probably the real reason potatoes became so important. Not because they're glamorous, not because they're rare, not because they're exciting, because they showed up again and again. Whenever people needed food, whenever families gathered, whenever comfort mattered, the potato was there. Maybe the most important foods aren't the most luxurious ones. Maybe they're the foods that stay beside humanity for centuries, helping, feeding, comforting, without asking for attention. Which potato dish deserves the crown?